was an African American thing. Now it's an African thing.
African's an African American. Grow up.
They need to stop that.
I'm getting comfortable, but you saw they was doing on TikTok. They was gonna what is it?
Boycott.
African hair salon.
No, did you see? Because they said that the Essence Festival was all African, but they failed to realize the Essence Festival owned by Liberian.
Really?
Oh yes, Richelieu is a Liberian.
Okay.
Yes, he's the one that owned Shea Butter. He was the one that showed Shea Moisture.
Okay.
Yeah, Richelieu used to sell that stuff for his grandma.
That'd be my problem with
at the stuff. So I don't know what make it so African now. You know, because they were late. That's what they're trying to say. They had less people show up. African people have taken over. So they got this whole thing on Facebook and Instagram about separation. You know, we're one people. Now they're coming to bring us together. We should end the separation. We should end the something.
No, but I know who I am, so I have to still be proud of who I am.
I'm like, why were you guys? I mean, it was a big thing. People are like, oh, it's all African now. They're taking the culture away from us.
Okay.
It was an African American thing. Now it's an African thing.
African's an African American. Grow up.
They need to stop that.
I think
the thing about it, we're not the ones separating.
No.
Right? People are separating. What makes what happened at Essence an African thing?
It's the lack of, and I hate saying it, and I'm gonna sound
Education?
so that one too. Is the lack of their knowledge of them knowing their actual ethnicity.
I think it's so absurd how Nadine be getting on this internet talking about the 2-hour braids and all of this about good customer service and how she's fixing. First of all, I've been sitting inside of there since 6 o'clock with Milan. This is my first time ever bringing Milan with me. Why am I leaving here at 10, whatever the time it is? Look at my hair. Look at my hair. It's not even halfway done. And I've been sitting in a chair for 5 hours. 5 hours! Okay. Hi. Medium, knotless, waist length. Medium. 30 minutes or something. Come on, Milan. Been here for 5 hours. Last and final chance.
The director of the FBI himself, J. Edgar Hoover, once said, "The biggest threat to America is Negro unity." So let that sink in. The world's biggest fear is not World War III. It's not politics. Their worst nightmare is for the black men to rise up. Their worst nightmare is for the black man to put down the drugs, to let go of the self-hatred, and to unite. Because once they wake up, it's over. Just think about it. Every system that's in place right now profits off the destruction of the black man. Prisons, the streets, the music they push, the poisons they put out in our communities. It's all meant to distract and divide. Because if the black man ever really knew his true powers, they would never be able to control him. They feed you drugs to numb you. They tell you lies so you hate yourself. They pit you against each other so you never see who the real enemy is. And the sad part about it, most of us are playing right into their hands. Can you imagine a generation of black men who choose discipline over destruction, unity over ego, purpose over pain? That scares them, because once we put that energy together, we don't just change our lives, we change the whole world. So you gotta ask yourself, are you gonna keep feeding into their plan, or are you gonna wake up and become the worst nightmare that they prayed would never come true?
The civil rights movement did not start in America. The fight for black freedom began long before the civil rights movement in the USA. Even though they did do a lot, but it is important. I'm just going to list through some of the most important ones. So first we start off with my country, Jamaica. Now, Jamaica actually influenced key figures in the American civil rights movement, such as Malcolm X. Now, if you know Malcolm X, he wanted Pan-Africanism, and it is said he was influenced by Marcus Garvey, who is actually from my area in Jamaica. And his ideology and his existence is long before Malcolm X. Malcolm X's father, Earl Little, was a very passionate follower of Marcus Garvey. And also his mother is Caribbean, and she also shared those views with him, Malcolm X. Now, long before slavery ended in Africa, they actually resisted the colonizer. So the Ashanti Empire, from Ghana, they resisted the British Empire. Emperor Menelik II of Ethiopia, he fought against the Italians because the Italians did try to colonize Ethiopia, and he won that in the battle of Adwa in 1896. Now later on, don't forget me, I already talked about the Jamaican slave revolt. The Haitians are legendary. The Caribbeans are legendary in that. In Zimbabwe, my favorite, who actually achieved liberation with some consequences because of that. So their leader also believed in Pan-Africanism, and they took up arms in like the 1960s due to the white rule called Rhodesia, where there was 5% of whites settled a colony, and that colony was like, they were the minority, but then they controlled the land, the economy, things like that. So they took up arms, and now they got their independence, but then, the leader then slightly became a dictator only because he started to give the land to his like friends and stuff like that, only because he owed them back. That is actually a long story which I want to go into as well. Then you had South Africa, which the apartheid system started in 1940s, way before, big main civil rights movements in America. In the UK, there was the British Black Panthers, and then there was Notting Hill riots, which was about, racism as well, as there is a lot of racism inside, UK, but it is hidden. Then you had in India, people were rebelling against the caste system, and it's called the Dalit movement, and this is from the 1920s onwards. In the UK, in 1919, there was also revolt, or like race riot against racial discrimination due to, Caribbean soldiers, what they faced. You had in Senegal, they resisted French colonialism, like Blaise Diagne. Sorry, man, I'm saying the name wrong. He fought for African rights before World War II. The author of Black Skin, White Mask was from Martinique, and he also was with like Algeria, and he also campaigned for political liberation. Now, there is so many to go over. However, what this is trying to just show you is that there can't be any divide. Like, we're all one people, bro. We must all respect our individual traditions. For example, I am Jamaican. I like that I'm Jamaican. My ancestors, they were African. My national hero, Nanny of the Maroons, she's from West Africa. But we have made a culture of our own. But there's a little bit of xenophobia sometimes going on. There can't be, because we are all one people.
I just want to say I find it very interesting that the very first video that we were able to see and witness, you had obviously people who were not Black American, and they're sitting on a podcast, like I've told you guys countless times, and this is what they do directly online because they have nothing else better to do. They have nothing else of importance to talk about because the rest of their stuff is boring. It's not a hot topic. Nobody's really going to tune in to hear them talk about where it is that they're from, their types of foods, what's going on in their culture. Nobody cares. It's not a hot topic. It's not anything that's going to pull money or, money from advertisers. It's not going to do any of that. So they have to sit around and talk about Black Americans. They have to have Black Americans in some shape or form as a topic on their platforms in order to generate any type of likes, views, engagement, analytics, or to even get any type of money at all. But yet these are the same people, as you just heard. It's like, oh, they're it's the miseducation. They're ashamed of who they are. They don't know who they are. How are you as foreigners telling Black Americans that we don't know who it is that we are. Again, I'm so confused. I'm like, do y'all really even have conversations with people? For people to actually be online and to have these platforms, and of course, we're looking at a video that's directly from TikTok. These people could literally host a space on TikTok and have, what is it, like 2, 4, 6, have about probably like 8 people at max. I think 8, maybe 9 people or something like that at max on a live stream. And you could literally have Black Americans, especially the ones down south. And you can more than likely, if depending on how it works, you can have elders. And I'm talking about elders that are like 80s, 90s, like ones that are up there. You can have these conversations. You can have a dialogue. You could actually learn something as an immigrant, as an outsider. But y'all refuse to do any of that. You stay and you sit in your small spaces, on your small podcast, on your small channels, and you just parrot away this exact same talking point that I guess all y'all just decided to pick up out of the blue. Again, I don't know if it's due to the government, CIA, or who it is that specifically gave these Africans and many other people this talking point, but they must be making a lot of money, because it's crazy to see whole groups of people that literally, as everybody has stated, they have their own culture, rich cultures, rich histories, rich traditions. They got religions and ancestors written in the wall and stone and all this other type of stuff, right? You got all of that you could literally talk about and highlight of you, but y'all not doing it. Y'all not celebrating it every single day online. Y'all not bringing it up every single day online. You guys decide every single day online to start talking about Black Americans, one way or another. Always the topic, always the conversation, and it's crazy. And again, y'all wonder why it is that Black Americans have the type of mouth that we do when it deals with online, and that's because we are sick and tired of hearing you guys speak directly on us, and we know that is beyond a place of ignorance, because y'all don't know any of all of what it is that you're talking about. Don't know nothing. So let me just give this one little piece of history, and I find it very interesting that whenever these folks want to speak on why it is or how it is that Black Americans don't know who it is that they are, you know, a lot of our ancestors were pretty much turned to ash. You had people that met up with an alligator. You had some people that might have just been thrown in the water somewhere. You had other people that were how can I say this without triggering anything? You had people that were invited to homes as meals, not to a meal, right? There's a difference. So when it is, and that's just a few things. So when it is that Black Americans are telling you that we don't care what it is that you're talking about, we don't care because we know that you don't. Because if you guys actually did the history, if you actually did the work, then you would actually list the whole totality of the story, the history. But you don't want to do that because you would uncover a very ugly truth of which you do not have any facilities to hold a conversation directly in. It's even at the point in time that white Americans don't even want to hold or even have that conversation, because that's a very ugly, horrendous part of American history that, oddly enough, a lot of people tend to look directly over. They tend to push that right by the wayside. Everybody will focus in on the slavery part, but they don't want to deal with the intricate details, the terrible details. So this is another thing I'm tired of. Why is it that every single time that people want to list the things that are positive that Black Americans are done, y'all want to try to attribute that by making some type of cross reference and or connection and try to say that, oh, y'all weren't the only ones that did it. We actually did it before y'all, and this was going on, a long time. So basically everything that was going on, in a sense, influenced you all to do what it is that you're doing right now because of how it is that we were all sitting up there fighting and doing. Man, can y'all just shut up? 100%. Can y'all just stop? Can y'all just stop? Like, it's very tiring. It's like, it's already enough that we don't get credit in America for the things that we've done, the contributions that we've made to inventions, to music, to television, to let me just even list sports. If you look at basketball by itself, go back and look at how basketball was originally played. And then look what happened and look at what basketball became once black people really entered in and we were allowed to just be ourselves. We could just do the things that we could just naturally. Look how the game changed. Look how much money is getting pulled directly in. Look how many people are going around wearing jerseys, watching the sport, loving the sport, want to go directly into the sport. Like I said before, when you have that injection of black flavor directly into something, it revolutionizes it. It transforms it. It elevates it into something completely different. Something completely different. But back to the whole thing of this woman here. It's very crazy that every single time that people happen to bring up the civil rights or black people protesting or black people standing up, against the government, somehow, some way, somebody from the islands or somebody over there in Africa, or even rare times when it deals with this, those in the UK, somehow, some way, y'all will just come along and decide to try to tell black Americans that, the reason that we have a civil rights, we got that type of fighting thing about us, is because we got that from y'all. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop. Get some help. Because it's insanity right now. It's beyond obsession with the amount of lies that you guys are sitting up here telling. And you guys are deliberately telling lies. I'm not sure if you guys are just lying just to lie, or if you guys are just doing this stuff because you're just stupid. I don't know. Like I said, at this point, I don't know what is happening or what is going on. Who is giving y'all these scripts? Who is telling y'all to go online and do these things? Y'all need to sit up there and stop. It's not gonna play out well. It's gonna be a very bad look. Like I said, we already got enough to deal with when it deals with white folks. I'm not sure why y'all trying to be directly up there on that list. I'm not sure why y'all keep continuing with the same nonsense on social media. I don't even know why y'all still talking. There are so many things, and especially if you are Jamaican, please sit down somewhere. You got the Chinese all up and down, running through Jamaica. Like I said before, y'all got a whole bunch of fraternity fraud, and y'all got things going on with STD. Y'all got a lot of stuff that y'all need to be worried about. A lot of stuff. This is not it. Y'all play this too full. And you don't need to be trying to get no carry out. You don't need to get any type of a side plate. You don't need to order no type of dessert. Just manage what is directly on your plate, because that is for you, made by you. It is suited, booted, and tailored directly for you. I don't know why you're putting yourself directly in this argument. Do not follow the Africans directly into this. They're getting you into something that you don't need to be in at all. Like I said before, there's a lot of people out here that we don't got no issues with because they mind their business. Just like they mind their business, we mind our business. But the moment in time that y'all sit up there and click your heels and say our name 3 times, we will show up at your house and in your mirror like Candyman. We will become your worst nightmare. And obviously, that's what y'all trying to invoke at this moment in time. Because like a lot of people said, those who will go low, we will put this straight to hell. So I need y'all to sit up there and just stop this at this moment in time. Just stop it. Nobody's sitting up there telling you to wave the white flag. All you have to do is just walk away from the situation. Every battle is not meant for you to fight. Pick and choose. The greatest thing my mom has always stated to me, still to this day, every fight is not a fight that you need to be in. You need to pick and choose. You don't got energy for everything. Because if you put your energy on everything, what energy do you then have for yourself? Nothing. So like I said before, for the Africans, get your house in order. Get yourselves in order. Focus inward. Stop focusing outside and looking at Black Americans. Our situations are vastly different. Our fights are vastly different. Like I said, Black Americans do not fight the same as everybody else. And historically, it has shown. This is why a lot of that history has been erased. This is why that history does not get taught directly in schools. This is why a lot of people from the islands and a lot of people from Africa don't know nothing about the history of how Black Americans have fought in this country and fought in order to get the rights that they have currently at this moment in time. The same exact rights that you guys come directly in and get for free. Just because. Didn't have to do no work. Didn't have to pick up nothing. Didn't have to take care of nobody's kids. You didn't have to lose family members for it. Nobody had to get jailed or prison. Nobody had to get lied on. Nobody had to get set up. Like I said, y'all just came and just got something for free and didn't have to work for it. Like I said, just like spoiled kids. You don't understand the value of something because you never had to work for it. And this is currently what Black Americans are dealing with at this moment in time. All of y'all, spoiled kids, just running your mouth. Y'all ain't have to sit up there and work hard over here in order to receive nothing. All you had to do was just show up. And now, because all you had to do was show up, you think that you're better than us. You think that magically you're harder working than us. That's crazy. That is crazy. Diabolical. I don't know, like I said, I'm pretty much at I don't know what capacity my mind is even at this moment in time. Because everything is just, it seems like water, my friend. It seems like water. Like I said, it's tiring. Diabolical. But I will say, the other video where the young woman was stating that their worst fear is seeing Black men stand up, basically rise. That is true. That is 100% true. Because if people actually think about it and look at it for just a split second and realize everything that has been thrown at and on Black men still to this day, and how people have not let up, even the system that we're currently in dealing with the United States, how they have certain things in order to make sure that Black men and young Black boys will be ensnared, will be trapped one way or another. It's even to the point, as I've shown you guys before, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, if not more, where they have these FX, type of masks, and the main color that they have for it is, the main colorations of people that you see in the United States, meaning Black males. And how these people are able to put on these lifelike masks. They form fit to the face, expressions, and everything. All they got to do is just put a voice to it, and it's believable. So like I said, one way or another, they're going to try to make sure that they ensnare and trap somebody directly in that system. Put them directly in those cells to take both energy and money, on top of many other things, because we do got a black market directly out here. And on top of that, you got the lawyers, you got the doctors, you got the nurses, you got the hospitals, you got the morgues, you got the police department, fire department. Like I said, everybody is in bed with everybody doing the same thing and getting different splits of the money. People don't even realize it. And the main driving force just so happens to be black men. But for the whole of everything, it would be the black community. Like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in my commentary, I guess we could I guess we could say, because maybe I might have went off in a tangent with a few of my explanations going here and there and everywhere. But you know, if you stay with me this far, thank you. You know, like I said before, it's getting to that point in time where this will probably, you know, be the main thing that'll just happen for a lot of videos, where I'll just tangent all over the place, but it'll link back, you know, somewhere to one of the main videos or the context of the conversation. But thank you guys for listening and watching, and catch you in the next video.